Welcome to Sips with Scrubs, a nurse podcast where we talk about the good, bad, and ugly of being a nurse. Today I am joined with nurse Alex. So we're excited to have her here. So I met Alex in the residency program before we actually got on the unit. So I guess it's kind of like the classroom portion. Do you remember how long we did that for? It's like
That was
4 weeks.
Yeah, I was gonna say a
It's
month.
like a month. We kind of like reviewed modules and did like a crash course basically,
was
like a
kind of a
whole
waste of time.
review. I had been off for a while though, so like
you
I
took a
didn't.
break?
Yeah, I took like a month off in between like graduating and like going to work. So for me, it was helpful because I was like, good.
Like a refresher. in
Yeah, I
a
needed a
sense,
refresher. Now, if you was just coming straight off of nursing school, then
Girl,
I
I
could
was
see.
broke. I was like, I need
I
to
could
start
see.
working.
I could see. No, I took a month off because I was like, I'm about to be working for the rest of my life.
Right.
Like,
That's
damn.
probably the good thing to do.
Yeah, I'm glad I thought about that because I was like, after this is it. Like, so that's where I met Alex at, and then we worked at the same hospital together. So I'm gonna let her give y'all like some of the specialties that she's worked, how long she's been a nurse, and whatever else she wants to share with us right now.
So it blows my mind when I think about how long I've been a nurse.
Facts.
So I've been a nurse for almost 5 years. I mainly have worked in just step down IMU. I started off in cardiac IMU. I did that for about 3 years, and I just made a year doing travel nursing, contract nursing. I also did IMU. My contract right now is tele, and I'm like, I would not recommend. Luckily, the hospital is not too bad, but yeah, that's mainly what I've done. I'm kind of in a point right now where I'm like, okay, what's next? Because you know how you kind of like, I feel like I'm just kind of coasting right now.
But coasting is good sometimes.
It's cool, but for me, once I've done something I'm like, okay, I need to grow. I need to do the next
Oh,
thing.
you get bored very easily?
I wouldn't say very easily, but I don't like to be like just routine, like comfortable. You know what I'm saying?
That's how I felt
wanna
before
challenge myself.
too. That's how I used to feel, and then COVID happened, and after that, now I'm kind of like I'm fine, like like
Yeah.
just go to work and leaving, and I'm like I don't want to be challenged anymore. Like
Yeah, and that's fine. That's fine. You know, I mean, I'm also like, girl, like my like pay and all that stuff. I'm like, okay, what's next? I need
for me,
more.
for me it's the pay. For me,
Yeah,
it's the
okay.
pay. But like, because I felt like that. Well, it was multiple reasons why I left my old unit. It really was because the nurses were incompetent there. But I didn't mind like going to work regular and like just, oh, this is your day. It's an average day. I was like, okay with that. And then I was still IMU. So that was the challenge for me because you never know if they going to have to transfer to ICU or what's going to go up with them.
That's
But
the only thing about step down. It's like, and then when I was doing travel, COVID, it was another brink of like a COVID wave. And a lot of those patients were ICU patients.
Yes.
Like we had drips and I'm like,
yes.
this is, I can't be in this room titrating this, like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Yeah, it's like, this is
IMU,
dangerous.
That's another reason why I'm doing tele. It's kind of a break, but tele is like tedious. Like, you know what I'm saying?
So? What do you mean by tedious though?
Like, nurse, where's my pain medicine? You have psych patients. You have like 5 or 6. With your IMU, if there's really critical, you'll have 3.
Yeah.
But no more than 4. I
Yeah.
mean, at the facility we came from, sometimes
Right.
5, which is really unsafe.
Ghetto.
But
The ghetto.
but they're just they're sicker. But they're
Yeah.
borderline like
you
ICU.
really should be
and
in
because
ICU.
you're IMU, they're like, no, they're gonna stay there because y'all are IMU.
Yeah, that's
you know
the
what I'm
bad part
saying?
about it.
Yeah, so like tele is just kind of a break from like thinking so critical,
Yes.
but it's tedious.
Yeah, and I don't like all the nitpicking things. The hospitals for me have went back to nitpicking. Like, oh,
Right, now
do
that
you have
COVID
this?
has kinda-
Yes, I'm like, no, like I never liked that part of nursing, but I'm okay with the
Right.
med surg part for now, especially where I'm working at, because for them, their baseline is 4-1. So that's part of the reason why it's like, oh, this is fine. Because we used to 5, 6. Do we have a tech? Do we not have a tech?
That makes a difference.
Yes.
That makes a
No,
huge difference.
where I work at now is 4-1. You're going to have a tech. Like, you're always going to have a tech. Now, whether the techs have more patients or less, like, that's on the techs. But they're always going to be a tech. And we might have, most of the time, they want it 4, but they'll go up to 5. That's it. So
On
that's very
tele or-
doable. Telly.
See, that
The
hospital
life.
system though, they care about
Yeah.
like staff. Yeah.
See, so that's why I'm
It
like,
makes a
this,
difference.
I'm like, this is okay.
Oh yeah,
I'm like,
yeah,
this is okay.
Yeah.
But
But
since I'm doing float pool now, they don't let us go to IMU. They just let us do med surg because they have the float pool for the ICU, and the ICU nurses do IMU sometimes. They do it like that. Yeah. So
And that's safe. That's
yeah, I'm like, that's fine. I'm like, I just want to go to work, get my money, and I'm trying to go home. I'm trying to live my life. Like, I'm like, I don't know. Right now, I'm comfortable. I'm like, I'll have to figure out my next steps.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I need to start thinking about them so when I'm ready to move, I can move. But right now, I'm cool with where I'm
Yeah,
at.
okay, and that, that's fine. That's
Yeah.
fine to kind of just be like, I'm cool with this.
But I was you 2 years ago, I think. I was like, this is boring. I know everything. Like, I
I
need
mean, but nursing is
something.
not always just you'll get
No.
there and you like what like
What is
with the
this?
report that you got, you like, okay, I
This
already
ain't
know what kind of
it.
night this is gonna be.
Are you still doing night shift?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, see, got a night shift nurse. I had to
Yeah.
transition to days. I was
I want
done.
to, but I'm so like, I just feel like my attitude is gonna be bad. Like, it's gonna take
I'm like,
adjustment. I was like, if I do days, I want to be in like cath lab or like PACU or a clinic or something.
yeah.
I just feel like
I
day
don't
shift is
think
so
I would
chaotic.
mind doing a clinic, but I'm kind of like, what they pay look like? Like,
Right.
I'm like, cause if I'm like, I wouldn't mind having. I don't know if I want to work like normal hours. That's my thing too, like a Monday through
Oh, Monday through
Friday.
Friday, 8 to 5.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know about that, but I like how my friends, like some of them work in clinics and they get out like at 3 and 4. I'm like, that's so
Yeah, see,
nice. Like,
it's normal. Like,
yeah, I'm like, and then they go to work later. They're like 8 or 9 o'clock. I'm like, I could wake up, work out. Like, we go to work early as hell. I'm like, we gotta, especially with me since I have to drive to like the other
so what time
places.
do you have to? You have to go to
I
like
got it.
4.
No, no, no. I'm not waking up that early.
Okay.
I wake up at 5.
But that's still okay.
I wake up at
Wait,
5.
and then you leave at like 6, 5:30.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because sometimes I know what unit I'm going on, and sometimes
Oh,
I
okay. That way
don't.
you
Yeah,
just okay.
so I can have time to kind of figure out where I'm at, and then go to the unit and whatever. But I'm like, dang, going to work at 8 sounds cool. Like I
I
get
know
up,
you
I
can get
can
up at
work
like.
out if I want to. I can cook a breakfast. Like
Oh, you do be working out, huh?
I be trying to work out.
I'm looking at your stories like, dang, she really be
No,
working
I
out.
be trying to. I can work out. I need to learn how to stop eating.
Oh, see, that's the like I know this has nothing to do with nursing, but like you can work out at like hard as hell, but then like
That
if your
eating,
diet is not
baby,
together,
that's me. That's me. And all throughout the pandemic, I was like emotionally eating. I didn't realize it until later, and I was like, damn. No, I didn't know it because I'd be like, this would be my reward. I'd be like, okay, you get through this week, and you can buy some crawfish, like. That's how I made it through some of the weeks. I was like, all right, we're going to go get some crab. Like, I get my daiquiri. Like, okay, and then we're going to do it all over again. So I was like, but now I'm like, girl, you need to drink a smoothie. Like, you need to stop. Like, stop
but at
eating.
least you acknowledge it,
I know I have a
First
problem.
step,
My name
first-
is Lainey. I have
first
an addiction to food. No, I'm well aware. Well aware. Yeah, so now I'm trying to, like, dial it back. Like, dial it back.
Yeah. I was looking at your stories like I need to be working out like her.
I need to keep working out, stop eating. So that's where I'm at now. I'm like, all right, like we go figure this out. But I feel like it would be so much easier, like having like a regular set schedule.
Yeah, and with night shift, like that is so. I honestly want to get off a night shift, but it's just like I'm just like the day shift just it gives me anxiety. Seriously,
Really?
I trained on days, so like I'm not completely like naive to days, but it's just like literally, the contract I had stayed till like 9 because the nurse was late. So I'm already starting to pass meds and got a taste of day shift. And my phone within the first 30 minutes rang so many times. I was like,
Girl.
I don't want nobody.
So
to this.
the thing about day shift is like the first couple of hours and the last couple of hours. Those are like the busiest. But in between, it kind of chills out because everybody's coming like in the morning. But that's good because you want them to come so I can ask you for everything I want.
Just get
I'm
everything.
like, hey, which doctor are you? Okay, I need this, that, and that. And then
Right,
I'll just be like, I need
right.
all these things. They're all done rounding by like 12 at the latest. So then at that time, it's like they doing all the imaging or whatever procedure or whatever. Like from 12 to 4, you're pretty much not really doing as much unless you get an admission. Then around like 5 or 6, that's like your last round. Everybody got Lovenox, metoprolol, or some
Right.
bull crap like that.
Right.
And by that point, it's kind of like the end of the shift. So it's kind of like whatever.
I think it was
It's just
getting used to. How was that transition for you? Because I remember
me,
we both worked on.
it
nights.
wasn't even bad. Like, it's way busier than days, but I think what helped me too is that I used to pick up on day shift. Like when I worked the nights, sometimes like if they were short on the days, like I'll pick up a day shift, like depending on what my schedule looked like. So I kind of was already like, okay, I see how I can go. But for me, transitioning in total, like my attitude was like way better. I had a bad attitude on night
That's how
shift.
I feel. I feel like some days I'm like,
No,
don't want to talk to
it's the
anyone.
nights.
My
It's
mood is just like, please leave me alone.
No, it's the nights. Cause on days I'm like way more. It take me a while to wake up, so
I
that's
feel
fine.
like that's gonna that would be
No,
me.
yeah, it's not until first rounds when I'm finally waking up, like 8:30. Like, okay, now I'm awake. But night shift, I feel like my attitude is bad, like almost the whole night. But on days, it's not like that. It's like, okay, once I get to like 8 o'clock, I'd be like, okay, I'm up, I'm moving around. Like, what's happening? Like, what you got going on? What you need? Like, I'm like that. So for me, it wasn't bad. Days go by so fast, and then you go home and you like so tired, you just knock out. And then it's nothing.
And I feel like I'm shortening my lifespan working nights.
Night shift,
No,
I'm
serious.
like my attitude was bad. Then I'd be tired all the time. It's like no amount
Right.
of sleep would help
Yeah,
me
yeah,
not be
that's how I
tired.
feel.
I'm
That's
like
how I
I'm
feel,
always
yeah.
tired. Days I'm like after I go to sleep, after I go to work and wake up again, like oh I'm good.
I'll let you know.
I don't know,
I'll
y'all
let
like
you know.
let me
I will let you
know.
know. But I am, I'm tired of
No,
nights.
when I tell you I had a bad and I was really short with people, like I'm not trying to talk to nobody. I don't want to go nowhere.
Right.
Then when I am out, I still got a funky attitude. But now I'm like I'm better now.
Like my dad, let me have like 2 days off, and then he'll like call, like he's like, I know
Oh.
you're asleep. Like my family, like they like you before even working nights, I was like a person that woke up late. Like, but I feel like nights just makes it
Worse.
like so much worse. I feel like I'm
Yeah.
always asleep, and like some people don't understand, because
Yeah,
they're
it's
like
tough.
their schedule is opposite from mine. But
No, I don't, nobody can understand nights unless they work nights. That's just how I feel about
right,
it. They'll never
yeah,
understand because I'm like, how are you still tired? You slept all this time. I'm like, no, I'm always tired. Like,
yes,
I was like, I'm never awake. I just think
yes.
it's nights in general. But yeah, days are, I'm like, I like them. They gonna be going by fast. I'd be like, what's up?
I
What's
think,
next?
yeah, I think that's the one thing
It's always
you're always doing something.
something. Yeah, and even
Yeah.
when you're not doing anything, you're like, okay, at 3 o'clock, this is gonna go on. So it's like, all right. So today we're gonna be sipping on Kiss My Legacy. So that's why I was asking you, do you like red
Oh.
or white wine? So this is actually a black-owned, female-owned
Ooh.
wine business. They're based in Houston. So I
Okay.
haven't tried this one yet. It's mixed berry. It's a premium red wine blend, and it's infused with natural mixed berries.
Okay.
The
Okay.
alcohol content's 15%. I don't know. We gonna see how it tastes. If it tastes like
Okay.
15%.
I was gonna say, have you tried that?
I haven't tried that one yet. And they
So
say they suggested be paired with fruit cheese and spicy cuisines. So we'll see.
okay.
The only one I've tried from them so far is the rosé, and it was pretty
It was
good.
good.
It was like a light rosé though. Like, have you ever had the Stella Rosa rosé? That one is kind of like sweet.
I feel like theirs are like juice, like so.
Yeah, it was. It wasn't quite like that, but it was light. I don't know how else to describe it because I was trying to think of other rosés I've tried, but it was lighter than the other ones I've tried. But it wasn't as sweet as the Stella. But it was good. We drank the whole bottle. So hopefully this one tastes good because sometimes I like red wines, but I like
That's
dessert red
yeah. That's the thing
wines.
when they're like super dry. I'm like, ugh, I don't know about that.
And then the other one I have from them is like a Pinot Grigio, but I haven't tried it yet. I'm like, my arms are short, so I didn't think I'd be able to reach. Uh, Girl, I'm
I didn't want to
clumsy.
drop
So
it. I'm like,
exactly,
I didn't
I'm
want
like,
to drop it. It
I'm
looks like you
clumsy.
just
So
cleaned.
exactly. Let's. Okay, it smells sweet. Okay, that isn't bad for me.
I like this.
Yes.
It's not too sweet and it's not like too dry.
I wasn't
I'm
expecting
about
that.
to.
So that was like $29.99,
Okay,
and they
okay.
have a website. I think when I looked at it, some of them were sold out. So
That's a good
I don't
sign.
know. Yeah, and I like it's not a corkscrew, so I like it. So you could just put the top back on because once I started drinking all these different wines, I was like, dang, like once you open it, like it don't hit the same. So I like that they do their tops like that. But I like it. I mean, okay,
So when you have guests and stuff, do you try a new wine every time, or you?
most of the time.
Okay, that's good though. That's good. Okay.
Most of the time, unless I have one that I need to kill, because I don't drink as much like throughout the week. I normally drink when I'm doing this, or maybe after work or something, but it's not too often. So I'd be like, the only time I recycle is like, okay, this bottle's been in here for a minute and I need it to go. Yeah, but most of the time I'm trying something new. But I like this one. I'll reorder it again or gift it to somebody.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to take a picture of that before I leave.
So our next segment is bad scrubs. So this is where we talk about scrubs that have been criminally charged while practicing being a nurse. So today, I know today's bad scrub is Linda Ruzinowski. Girl, Ruzinowski, something like that. Okay, so she's a former Monroe County Fire Rescue Chief flight nurse. That's a long title. So she's a flight nurse, and for the Trauma Star helicopter program, she was arrested for stealing narcotics. Most of these people, would be the drugs. I'd be
Yeah.
like, I don't know. Y'all need to get that checked out. But
I, like how you have like a like a patient that clearly doesn't need everything that they're getting, like
yeah,
all the narcotics. And I'm like, bro, if you gave me, I remember I got in an accident. They tried to give me, I forgot what narcotic, and I was like, I would be in the floor, like
I couldn't do it.
like these strong.
I can't barely could take regular medicine.
That's
So
what I'm
a
saying.
narcotic would knock
Ibuprofen
me.
knocks me out,
I'm
like
about to say it
800.
would knock me out. I be having to be careful with Benadryl because Benadryl, I need to get the full 8 hours of sleep.
Right.
Or it's like
Working night shift, I know how
I
energy.
gotta get the full 8 hours of sleep or I'm gonna wake up groggy. Like I don't mess
Right.
with meds, but these people they be and the bad thing about the narcotics is that they be getting charged for so many things when they abuse them. So she was charged with 2 counts of grand theft of a controlled substance, 2 counts of obtaining a controlled substance by fraud, and 2 counts of official misconduct. So the Monroe Fire Rescue alerted the sheriff's office of the missing narcotics and discrepancies in their controlled substance log. So the things is, like when they steal it, they try to cover their tracks. So with that, they ended up getting charged for fraud too, because now
Oh,
you
not
false
you're
documented.
wasting, but you're not really wasting.
Yeah, like you documented, you did something else with it, and that's not true. So you get charged for
Right.
that, and then you get charged for stealing it. So she took morphine and Versed. I don't know what you need Versed for.
Also, I was like, maybe she was doing something on the side with it.
Maybe she was selling it. I don't
The
know.
black market or whatever it's called.
Child. So, and then because of that, she had to alter or falsify records in attempt to conceal the thefts. And so basically, they discovered it through that. And then she also admitted to just stealing the drugs. So she was arrested.
But also being a flight nurse, I would think that like there's not as strict. Like like we have to
Oh,
pull it
with
from the
logging
fixes.
them?
We have to
Yeah.
count it because even like in like operative areas like cath lab and stuff, they don't really count like that. They just like pull
Really?
it, or they have it like the pre-filled syringes or something like
Okay.
that. Or I don't know. Tanisha used to work in the cath lab and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But it's probably not as strict as like giving it on the floor.
Right.
So maybe
Especially
she
in
had a little
helicopter and stuff
leeway.
yeah.
Right.
It probably took them some time to find that out. But,
Right.
they always go catch you eventually.
Yeah, eventually because
Yeah.
yeah.
That's the bad part because I'm like, if we get arrested, it's going to be like 5 from 7 years from now. Like,
Right.
this patient that you took care of in 2015.
That's
What?
the thing.
I'm like,
Like
what?
you can go to court. Like you can be a nurse for like 12 years, and you go to court for something that's like
Yes, that's why they be trying to tell us to document. But I'm
Right.
like, but who has time to really try to document everything? And then the documentation is weird anyway because I'm like, if I like, am I documented too much? Like,
Right.
or what? I don't know because the documenting is tricky because I was looking at this nurse group because one of the times somebody asked a question on there and they were like, if I documented, like I asked the doctor for this and they didn't give me any new orders, we'll continue to monitor type thing. Like when they're like, what else we supposed to do? They're like, some people felt like you still could get in trouble because it was like, they were like, if it's that big of a situation, you should have called a rapid or you should have tried to escalate to your charge nurse or you should try to escalate to the OA or house supervisor. And I'm like, really? This is ridiculous.
And now lately, the charge nurses are like new grad nurses.
That
It's
part.
like-
I know more than you at this point. Yeah. I don't know. I'm like, girl, who has time to be doing all this when I got all these other patients? So
Especially on day shift. Lord have
I
mercy.
just don't know. I'm like, I don't know. I just be trying to do the best I can. Then I be
With what I
like,
got.
yeah, I'm like, God, like protect me, hell. I don't know what else I'm supposed to do.
Right.
Like,
Do you feel like nursing is the same from even when we started?
I don't know. It's kind of hard to compare because it's like we had this little 2, 3 year period of COVID that threw everything off. So I feel like everybody's just now trying to get acclimated to like normal nursing again.
I feel like we came out at the right time.
No,
Because I would have probably
definitely.
chose a different career if I
If
came
we
out of
came out
nursing
during
school.
COVID, can you imagine during like I would be scared to be a nurse and I didn't
No,
have like in person
seriously.
clinicals.
No, yeah, that too.
I would have
Because they
been
had a lot of like
like,
simulation
yeah, I'm
labs and
like that's like not anything compared to like the stuff you see on the floor.
but even so still, even though we had clinicals don't really when I got out, I was still like, okay.
I mean, yeah, but at least you kind of had an
A little bit,
idea. Like,
yeah.
I'm like,
Right.
because for me, I didn't even work in healthcare or anything before. So I
Yeah,
had
me
no
either.
clue. Like, I feel like a lot of people I went to school with, their mom was a nurse or like they worked as a tech or something, like, or an
Yeah, a lot of people
LVN.
was a tech.
Yeah, and I'm like, I didn't have anything. So I'm like, if I didn't get that experience, I would have been like, what the fuck is this?
Right,
Like,
right. Like what is going on?
my friend used to pull up stuff in the syringes, all different, with all these different type of needles. And I'd be like, how she know how to do that? Like,
Oh, cause she what the
like in the simulation, like she'll be like getting the stuff and attaching. I'm like, how you know like which one go on which? Like I was so I'm like, I feel like if I didn't see some of the stuff in person, I would have been like, okay, I don't know what to do. Like,
Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
but even just an idea, like, okay, this is what this looks like, sort of thing, or something. I don't know. But obviously, the orientation is kind of like completely different than clinicals.
Yeah.
I feel bad for them.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I wouldn't have not. I would have, because my other option was going to be pharmacy.
Oh, really?
And sometimes I'm like, dang, why didn't I?
It was like no patient care might be
Nursing
better.
is, and everybody's like, oh, you a nurse, big money. I'm like, y'all don't
We work for
understand
that big
what
money
this job comes with. Like, when I leave work, I am tired. Like,
with
like
like three
every
eyes.
day I fight for my life.
No, real talk, real talk. Most days it's like, okay, what the hell? But float pool has alleviated a lot of that for me because I'd be
That's why I was
like,
like, I can't see myself going back staff. Like, I
because I'm
really
like, I come
cannot.
and go. Like, I'm so stress free. Before I used to be like, I was having anxiety. It was ridiculous.
No,
I've
that
never been
pre-shift
anxious.
anxiety, like,
Bro, I'm like, I've never
especially
been an
at the place
anxious
we used to work at, it's
person.
like you do not know what you got.
I'm like, I don't know, somebody go down this shift. I don't, and I'm like,
With
and
COVID, it was like,
obviously, like how we were saying with the cases, like, if something gonna come back to bite me in my ass during, like, we should get
right.
waived for the COVID
That
period.
whole period.
Like, everybody should
That
just
whole
get waived
period.
because I'm like, we was just doing the
Look,
best
I
we
don't know. I
could.
don't know.
Yes, I'm like, nobody knew. We just here. Like, I'm trying to be alive. Like,
Like those patients will be talking to you how we're talking right now, and
yeah.
it would be fun. Like we're covering, and then those will be the same patients that code. And you're
Yes, it just takes you completely off
like
guard.
who's
You
the
like,
nurse? I'm sitting there like flabbergasted. Like I don't know.
real talk. Yeah, so I just be like, I don't know. I don't know, but I'm glad that we got out when we did because we got
Yeah,
at
I thought it was
least
a good
what a
time.
year and a half or something like that.
18, a good 2 years.
Almost 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, normal
Because we probably was dealing
nursing.
with COVID before they announced it. You know
That
what I'm
part, but we
saying?
just didn't know.
Right.
Yeah, so these nurses now, I'm like,
They might be built a little bit different because they came out during that rough. I don't know.
I don't know, but I feel like during COVID, we wasn't really doing like patient care. It was kind of like,
Survival.
yes, like bare minimum, like,
Right.
are they alive? Like that sort of thing. I don't feel like we were really doing things to like progress the patient to get out the
You're right.
hospital. It was
Yeah,
just
you're
kind of
right.
like, I don't know. It's just, that was just a weird time. And
And
I
then
feel
your floor
like,
was like strictly COVID, right? At
yeah,
one
I was about to
point.
say my unit was really COVID. So I'm like,
Yeah, you're.
well, we didn't have new grads because I had told the managers, I was like, you got to get them off of here. I was having anxiety about a lot of things. I felt
You
like,
were charging, right?
I was like relief charging,
Oh, okay.
but I was precepting the very first time like we had COVID. I had a new grad with me, and I was
I would have
texting
been.
my man. Yes, I was so anxious because you already know they don't know what they're doing, poor things. And then with COVID
Right.
on top of that, I was so scared this like he was gonna touch something and get COVID because he didn't know how to do PPE properly. Like I'm like, get your hands out your pockets. Like he was just too carefree for me because I'm like, do you understand? Like this shit is
What?
airport. Like,
Right.
well at that point we didn't even know how it's transmitted. So I texted my managers. I was like, I don't think any new grads should be on a COVID unit when we don't even know what's going on. So they ended up getting removed. So we only had experienced nurses
Oh, okay.
that was on our unit. So that worked out.
Well, some experienced nurses still.
Yeah, that worked out in our favor. I don't know. They were good. That house, my unit, the staff was competent, especially after experience this last one I was on. I didn't know that every place wasn't like that. This last place I was at, I'd be
Oh yeah, when
like,
you're a travel nurse, you easily like start to see like, like
I'd
who you
be
can go to for
like,
help. Like it's like within the first 2 weeks, you
I'm
see
like, you've
what's
been
going
here
on.
longer. I've been a nurse longer than I've been alive. I'm not understanding the learning gap here.
They come from like an era of like paper charting and
I
like
don't know.
not wearing gloves and like
Yeah, we gonna
they
keep
don't.
giving them the benefit of the doubt because
Right,
I'd be
right.
like, I don't understand. I'm like, you should be a G, like you should be able to put an NG tube in like
Right,
this, like IV like this, like you've been in.
instantly.
I be so sometimes I'd be like, were you like at a nursing home before? Or you was like somewhere else, and then you came to the hospital? Because sometimes it's that too.
Sometimes they be so old they don't care. They
That
they do not care. They're
that's
on their
it.
way out. They're like, listen, baby,
I'm like, I don't know how you don't care though, because I
be
be
charting with their one finger.
they be taking so
I
long.
know.
They
I'm like,
leaving.
look, Miss Betty, all you gotta do is, well, that's not how. Okay, well, I'm
Okay,
trying.
have at
They
it.
don't understand our millennial brains how we like. They're like one task.
Yes,
By the
yes.
time they finish that one task, we done did like 5 tasks.
I don't know. I just let them be.
Right,
I'm like,
you just let them
you
do.
figured it out. You okay with leaving at 9 o'clock? That's on you. I can't do that. I need
As
to be
for
out of
me,
here. Yeah,
7:08.
I'm out. And when you take too long with a report, like I'm fussing at you. Like, come on, let's go in the room. Let's go.
That gets on my nerves.
They take too long.
No report and asking stupid questions. Like I'm.
I was talking about this the last episode. I was like, if
I
you
can
would
look
just
it
stop
up.
talking, I would tell you everything you need to know.
Right, and then you asking me something, ma'am. I said that already. If you were not focusing so hard on where the IV was,
Eyes on your paper. Like
when I get there, I'd be like, are they oriented? Like, just give me the base. If I can look it up, I'm not gonna hound you. Like, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Nursing is like 24 hours. Now, if clearly I've been a nurse long enough, I could tell if you're BSing. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? But even so, like, what is me hounding you going to do?
Yeah, after now, because the first couple years, I was a little nitpicky. I'd be like, how you don't know this about your patient? Like,
That's what I've gotten to that point
I do
where I'm
still
like,
kind of feel like that. I'm like, you've been with them with 12 hours. That sounds like negligence to me. But
right,
I mean,
right. That's what
but
I'm
now,
saying.
like you, like in report, tell me what you feel like I need to know. I'm already gonna look up everything
Yeah,
anyway
pertinent.
because I can't trust you anyway. Like you got to do it for yourself. So I'm gonna look up all this stuff. The first thing I look at is the H&P, like why they came in here, what's their history, blah blah blah. Because most of the time, I don't know. I feel like people don't know what they're talking about. So I just be like,
Right.
I be like, come on.
Or the labs was from 9 a.m. and I see that they're still not done. I like
Come on.
like 5 o'clock lab, something like that. Okay, but I'm at that point in my career where I'm like,
Whatever,
this
I'll
is
do
ash.
it. Yeah.
Like,
That's how I
whatever.
am too. I'd be like, don't worry about it. I got it. Because
Right.
honestly, it'll probably take you longer than it take me.
Right, that's
Like, that's why I just be like, what? And then you go come to me, oh, I tried to get the lab, but I couldn't get it. And da, da, da. I don't want to hear
Do
it.
you have the slips? Do you have the stuff in the room?
Yeah,
Like,
I don't
whatever.
want to hear it. Just go home.
Right.
Go finish charting. I got it. On the first round I go in there, I'm going to get the lab.
Right.
No worries. Poor people. I'd be like, that's what I think in my head, but to them, I'm just like, oh, you know, go ahead, go
Yeah, it's
home.
fine. But it might
I got it.
BSing. Like, I already know you. I know you're lying, but at this point, what is it going to do for me?
Right, you wasting my breath with me trying to come at you. So I want you to pick a card. This is your deck you could take home. So we got some conversation cards. I mean, you don't have to pick the top one. I don't even know how they are.
Let's see.
They're like nursing conversation cards.
Oh, okay. This is cute. This is very cute. This whole thing is cute. Like,
Oh, thank you.
everything. Okay. How do you? You want me to?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. How do you unwind after a crazy busy day at work? It's not healthy, but I like isolate. I literally
Sometimes
like
it's healthy.
I like isolate, and I just kind of like I really like watching like podcasts and like when I was a brand new nurse, I used to drink a lot of wine. Like I used to drink a lot of wine. So now like it's really just I isolate. Sometimes I put my phone on like do not disturb, and I'll just like chill, and that's like that gets me like the only person I really understand is like my nurse friends.
Yeah.
And so sometimes, like, if it's chaotic, you know those shifts where you just sit in your car and you're like, no, it's like silence. It's silence because you're like, what just
What
happened?
happened? Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I do.
What
I
kind?
drink
What
wine.
podcast do you listen to?
I like, so have you heard of Nice and Neat? I like
Oh,
Nice and Neat.
I've watched some of theirs, but I got tired of hearing guys talk. So
I like their, I be liking like to look. I
the
don't.
different
Maybe I should have been a
perspectives.
psych because when people are like really, I don't want to say strange, but they do something off the wall or like, I like to know why people are the way
No,
they
I like
are.
that too, and that's why I like to listen to podcasts because I like to hear different people perspectives. Like I'll listen to something even though I don't agree with you, just to understand the
Why?
logic. Like, how did we get
Right.
here? What made you think that way? So I feel
Right.
you on
Yeah. Like
that.
I like. I mean, and like some of like psych patients, like I had a patient that like swallowed batteries, and you know that metal part in your mask, he swallowed
Yeah.
that too.
Okay.
And so that's wild, right? But in
Yeah.
talking to him, he's just like, yeah, my mom shot herself in the head in front of me. Like
And that
just
made you swallow batteries.
in I'm saying like just what he's dealt with in life. So
I
he's
know.
trying to
I'm
like
just
no, no,
bad.
I
I'm
know.
just bad.
But I'm just saying like I'm not saying that's like, you know, it's just very strange, but
The
just
reactions people
right.
have.
And like
And my dumb
artists.
tell, I probably would have asked the patient. I'm like,
Like
so that led you to swallowing batteries.
right,
Cool.
right.
Got it.
But just like
Makes
stuff like
sense.
that and like artists and how they really think. I
Yeah.
think a lot of that's the how they act and how they present themselves is for like it's a publicity thing. But when you really like, I don't know. That's why I listen to podcasts. Long story short,
No,
but
that's why I listen to them too, because I like to hear different people's perspectives. And I feel like you have a better understanding of the world when you listen to different people instead of just like the
and take this
same
like judgmental
people.
factor out of it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah. So I like
So
to understand. I like to know the world I'm living in. I'll be like, what made you do
right,
that? Okay.
right. That's wild. Is like the most bizarre, and then people be effed up from just like childhood trauma
The
and
childhood trauma will get you every
every
time. If you don't
time.
resolve it,
So I'm like,
yikes.
no, for real. Girl, I was like, I'm gonna get into therapy. I'm gonna get into therapy.
What other podcasts have you listened to?
Um, I like Poor Minds.
Oh, I listen to
Poor
them too.
Minds. B Simone has a podcast.
Oh yes, I love that one.
Know for sure.
Yeah, I like that one a lot. I listen to
Drink Champs. I like Drink Champs
oh,
too.
I listen to Drink Champs too because I like I guess the environment and how they really like the
I like people
artists
be
really
amped
loosen it
up.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like how they give us like real life stories, not like the typical interview questions all the time. Like
Right.
they be telling us like, oh, I was over here with Snoop Dogg and da da da, and I'd be like, dang, you was over there with Snoop Dogg, like. And then I listen to what's that? Cocktails, Dirty Discussions. I listen to that.
That's two girls, right?
Uh huh.
I think I've like listened to.
Kiki and Medina.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Medina is crazy, but it's funny to listen to. Poor Minds, I liked. I used to listen to that one a lot, but Lex be yelling too much for me sometimes. I'd be like,
Her personality is just like bold and like she's
I'd be
like that
like,
frame. It's like Tony.
yeah, because I'm like, sometimes I'm in the mood to listen to all that, but then sometimes I'd be like, I don't want to hear nobody yelling today. Like, so I'd be
That's why I be
like,
listening to like Nice and Neat and stuff like that.
yeah, they real
like,
chill.
Yeah, because that's my like personality. I'm
But sometimes
very...
I don't want to listen to no man talking either. Sometimes I'd be like, give me a girl.
But the perspective though, the man like perspective.
No, I like that part, but it just depends on what kind of mood I am, I guess.
Yeah,
on what I listen
yeah,
to.
yeah. I'm not.
Oh,
It depends on the
if
mood.
you like Know For Sure, have you listened to shoot, what's that one called? It's with Mandy and Bridget Kelly. Oh, what's that podcast called? I listen to it all the time. See, the thing is. Okay, if you like B Simone, you like See the Thing Is.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that one.
There's
I
so
like
many.
that one a lot. Yeah. Oh, and then the other guy one I kind of listen to is shoot, they're in Houston. Can't remember their name.
Dang.
They be having their clips on the Shade Room and stuff.
I want to say I know who you're talking about, but it's just not coming to me right now.
I can't remember who that is, but it's a lot of guys, like 5 guys. Yeah. But I like them too because they have like some of them are married, most of them are married, I think, and then some are single. So it's like different
And it's
stages.
like it's the one that I just started listening to. It's called like Relationship Restored.
Oh, I haven't listened to that
And
one.
it's just different perspectives because like you're married, but I'm not married. So like just to
Yeah.
hear like
Yeah,
two
it's two different
different,
viewpoints. No,
right?
literally, like how you know how when some stuff they be like, oh, like married people don't ask single friends for advice, blah blah, blah pertaining to that. Because literally, it's two different thought
Right.
processes. Because how I thought when I was single is not how I think now.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because you
you
can't be
can't.
married and
You
think like, yeah. I'm
can't.
like,
Yeah.
because I be telling Jordan, I be like, if I was, this was back in the day, I would have quit so fast. Like,
Yeah, it's like a vow. Like you
I
can't.
was
How long have you
quick.
been married?
two
I remember when
years.
you got engaged. Oh my god.
It's been 2 years now.
So how's marriage? You like
It's good. I like it.
that's what it's like a partner, right?
A lifelong companion. That's nice. Always got somebody to talk to. Always got. But then that on the flip side, you always got. Yeah, I'm like on the flip, it's good and bad. So it's like, dang, you
Right.
always there. Like,
Right.
so it's like two sides to every coin. But I like it for the most part. I think because at first I didn't think I'd want to be married, but I think I prefer being married than I did. Like if I was
Really?
this age and single, I don't think I'd want to be dealing with society.
Oh, like dating and all that stuff. It has its pros and its cons, I guess. But
I'm
I just don't
like,
want to rush into like,
oh no.
you know. But I mean, if you find your person cool, but it's not
Right,
something,
yeah,
you know what I'm
that would be
saying?
how I
And
would
I
be
don't
because
want to settle.
that's already how I was anyway. Because I didn't think I was gonna get married because I was like, I don't think I'm gonna find
You've
somebody
always
I
been very
like.
straightforward and very like,
That's why I was like, I
It's
didn't
the
think I
first time
like
I
somebody
met
I
you.
like that much that I want to marry you. I'm like, I look at you every day, like
I gotta really like you, like.
I'm telling you. So I was like, oh, I don't know, but no,
That's
it's going
good.
good. Of course, every day is like not the best, but most days are
I
like
mean, that's
fine.
normal.
Yeah,
You
I'm
know what
like
I'm
most days
saying?
are fine. Yeah, so it's cool. I like it a lot.
That's good. That's good to hear.
So let's start at the beginning of your nursing journey. So before, in the very beginning, you was like working a cardiac unit. How was that for you?
So, like in nursing school, you know how you have like that one system, body system that you're like, this is my ish. Like I know it in and
That was
out. That
cardiac for
was
you.
cardiac, and I knew like going in. I remember I had like I really wanted to do ICU, but step down. I was like, okay, you know, within a certain amount of years, I'll just transfer. So I interviewed with like 3 or 4 floors. Like two were in the cause you worked in the main tower, I worked in the heart tower, and I had a girl I had an interview for ICU at like Ben Taub or LBJ, and I'm like, Lord, I'm so good. Maybe that would have shaped me into a whole different person, but that would have been a different kind of nursing.
Yeah, definitely.
Excuse me, but
Especially
then
that type of hospital.
right. I probably would have been like ready for whatever. But I interviewed, one of them was CVIMU, and all of them offered me a job, but I was like, I want to do cardiac. And I feel like where I started, like it was rough, but it shaped me into like the nurse that I am. And I had a lot of friends who worked on like telly and some people in the main tower, and a lot of them left after like not even a year. And I feel like what really makes a difference is your team.
Yeah,
Like you could be
definitely.
in a crappy environment, but if your team is like really good, it makes it's still crappy, but it
Yeah,
makes it so much better. Like your
manageable.
leadership, like if you're charged, you know, you have at the hospital we both worked at, it was most of the time you're a free charge.
Yeah.
So, you know, that makes you more available, but you'll have people that are free charges and they will not help.
Yeah, I always thought that was crazy because I'm like,
That is blows my
how can you look
mind.
around and you see people like basically
Suffering.
suffering? Yeah, I was
And
just
you
about
got
to
all
say.
that. Listen, when I was charging, the paperwork would come, like, it would get done, like, whenever it got done. But if
Right.
I see all my nurses are drowning, like,
Yeah,
you know, and
I never understood that.
yeah, I don't understand that. But yeah, so I pretty much started cardiac. Cardiac was just my jam, and then I was like how I am now. Like I need to do the next thing, and we were just short all the time. And I was like, I'm not getting the amount of pay does not reflect the amount of work that I'm doing. So then I did travel, and I did like general IMU, and that was like a eye opener. Like when I was telling
Like
you,
how so?
because I'm so used to like AFib, RVR, amiodarone drip,
Okay,
like
yeah.
cabbages, just like strictly cardiac. I mean, once COVID came, we were getting a lot of like regular IMU patients.
Okay, yeah.
And so they're just like nursing home ill patients. Like, I don't know how to I'm so used to like, okay, like I said, like AFib, RVR, okay, I know what to do. I already know what the doctor's gonna do before
Yeah,
I
because it's
even.
like a set protocol.
Right,
Yeah.
it's cardiac, and then you go to general, like you get GI bleed, you get it's just, and they're like during they were so. I swear I was an ICU nurse. I'm not joking. Like it was just they were so sick. Or just walking that pre-shift anxiety is like,
I know that feeling.
like, and I was getting to work. Like literally, we had to clock in by like 6:51. I was clocking in because I was dreading it.
Yeah, yeah. I know that
So
feeling.
just like
You
yeah, so
like,
mainly just did like IMU, and then I don't know if we're gonna talk about it, but then I just took like a 4 month hiatus like from
yeah.
nursing, and that was like that's when I realized like okay, I really need to do because I was so happy. I was so happy.
During
Like
the 4 months,
yes, I was
you weren't
so
bored.
no. No. I was sometimes I'd be like, damn, I need to go to work. And then I was just like, no. I picked up PRN and I still was like not picking up shifts. Like I was like, but I was able
I
to
feel like it
afford
was
it because I
needed.
did travel. Like you know what I'm saying?
Okay,
But
yeah.
yeah, like that's why I was like, I gotta get out the hospital.
How long were you traveling before you did your 4 month hiatus?
6 months.
Okay.
Yeah, six.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you know a lot of people that travel take long breaks like that after
Yeah, they
assignments.
usually do. Yeah.
Because was yours the type where you had to work like 5 days a week or 4 days a
No,
week
I
or it
didn't
was
do any
normal?
crisis I just knew I was not
Yeah,
I was
cuz
already
I
burnt
couldn't I
out.
couldn't do that.
But them crucial nurses that I would can I say that or like
Yeah.
okay like they allow would be working with they were making like 10K a week and they was like girl why didn't you do this and I was like maybe I should have tried it but I don't even like to pick up overtime
No, I
so
couldn't do 5 days. I could possibly do four, but having to do four for like a set amount of time,
yeah
I'm like,
no
I
let
don't know.
6 I mean I probably would have been really well off like 10K a week like
But was it that much of a price difference between yours and theirs? It was.
oh yeah I
Dang.
mean, it was still really good, but yeah, I wasn't making like 10K.
But the
If I
thing
did
for
picked
me
up probably, but
is
no.
like with traveling, it's kind of like you don't even know what you're walking into until you're there. So then it's kind of
That is
like,
another thing. You have some charge nurses because you're travel, they'll give you like it's been times where my assignment has been like so unsafe.
I know I told Nikki that before when she came on some time ago. I was like, because that was during COVID, and we'd be like, give them the hard assignments. We tired.
Y- Yes, that
But
like
I don't know. No assignment should be unsafe. But I'd be like, we need a break from this patient. Can you give them to them?
yes, the
That I understand.
rotator.
Because
Now I got them. Like
I'm like that with football too. Because I'm like, okay,
oh, they'll do
I'm just
that.
here for a day. So I'm like, I don't tell them this. But if you do it, I'm fine. No assignment should be unsafe. Because then we ain't doing that. Because that's my license. But I understand when they do give me like, oh, this patient been getting on all our nerves, so I'm gonna get them to
As I
you.
said, the rotator. So
Yeah,
now
I'm
I
like,
have
I
to.
get it, because I'm like, I'm only gonna be here for a day, and honestly, I don't care because I will limit my interaction with the patient like real
I'm so
quick.
straightforward now. I'd be like, look, this is what we not for. This is exactly how I talk to my patients. This is not what we finna do. Stop hollering. Your call light is right there.
Alex
And
over
I
here sound
swear,
like somebody mama.
no, I swear I do not have problems with them. Like I go in there and I let them. You want your payment? Look, it's every 4 hours. Do
Some
not be calling me.
patients, yes, some patients only do what you allow them to do. Like if you go in and set
Right.
the
If you're
precedent,
scared.
yeah, if you go in and set the precedent, like, hey, this is what's going on. This is what I'm gonna do for you today. Your pain medicine is like this. I'll be hearing it. I know you in pain. I'll be hearing at these times. Okay,
Right.
I
But you're
don't
not
have
finna cuss at
problems.
me and
Oh,
call me
absolutely not.
like
You want to delay your pain? No, I'm playing. I ain't got.
look, you need me to bring it in here. So you better act
See, I
right.
don't. Of course, we don't do that. But I'm like, I never understand patients. I'm like, you do understand I control like your life right now, right?
Right. If you go in and you sit, I swear.
Nurses are like waiters. Okay, you gonna be mean to somebody who bringing out your food like they could do something to it? No. So
Girl,
why would you do that to me? I could just tell them you ate already and you won't eat. Like
we really control like that. I'm not saying that negligence or anything like that.
we don't do
but-
this. I'm just saying the possibility.
Right.
I mean, you mess with the wrong nurse. I don't know. You might want to be careful. I like they say they did. Okay, you want payment? I already gave it to him. He fine. I'm just saying it could happen. I don't think they think about these things. I wouldn't do it, but I'd be like, that's what I think about when people be treating people bad. I'd be like, might want to be careful.
you might want to tread lightly.
You might want to be careful. Yeah, but I find that to be the same too. Like if you just come in and you're like, hey, this, and that, like most of the time they're like fine. So I just be like, okay,
But
what's
if
the
you're
problem?
timid and you're scared, they're going like,
They're like
girl. That's
kids.
what I'm saying. I'm in my nursing career where I don't want to say I don't care because that's not, but it's like I'm like no nonsense. Like, look, we're not finna do this. Is exactly how I talk to them, especially if they are black and they are cutting up. We're not finna do that. we
I
not.
think I told somebody this before, too, on the podcast. I'm like, it don't be the old white people sometimes.
It be
It sometimes be the old black people. They be talking about little Becky. Oh, the little white girl with blonde hair. She don't know what she doing. Da,
that's
da, da,
exactly
da.
how they be.
I'm like, it be both of the races be acting the fool depending on who they
right,
get. I be like,
right.
Grandma, you can't be no. Get it together.
Cussing and look, you don't want me to talk to you like that, so do not talk to me like
Yeah, I'm
that.
like, it don't just be the white people. Like people like to talk about the white people. It be the old black people. They be a hot mess
In their
too with them
ways.
other races. I be like, stop doing
I
that.
know.
I be like, what are you doing, Grandma? I had experience, not firsthand, but it was an older African patient, and she was getting on the younger African ones because they were like, "Oh, you need to show me respect." You know how that's a big thing
Oh
in their
yeah, yeah,
community, and they
yeah.
was like, "Nah, like the nurses was like, no, like you're not gonna be doing this. Like you're
Right.
not my auntie." I was like, "Oh Lord."
Being a nurse though, like not just African culture, but different cultures you see, like like I'm the elder.
Yeah.
So no matter, I don't know you, but
You will show me respect, like you
right.
will do this. I'm like,
And
I'm
then
not your
like the
servant.
some cultures like women and men, like
Oh yes,
the
yeah.
man is like like I've had patients like look down and the man is I'm like, well how do you feel? You know
Yes,
what I'm saying?
yes,
But
yes.
that's a culture thing.
Yeah.
They teach us that in nursing school, but you don't really
It's not applicable until
until you're
like,
in the
and
field and you see
it's
that.
really real, especially like it'll be the guys sometimes with their moms, mostly like Indians and Asians I see it with. She ain't saying nothing. What's your pain level right now? She go look at him so he can say it for her, and I'll be like,
Like
okay. And I'm like, should I supposed to talk to you or
right,
like I try to
right.
like go my head
It's a
back and
cultural
forth,
thing, yeah.
yeah, to make sure I'm addressing you, but I don't know. I mean, I know, but it's just like it's different dealing with that because we're just not like that. But you learn a lot as a
That's not.
nurse.
I feel like in the black community, it's like okay, the man will speak, but black women are very like
Vocal.
yeah, like no, he don't be taking his medicine. That's how.
Yes, we do. Yeah, and the guys, Mexican people too. The guys don't know what their meds are. Their wife do everything for them. They do that with their sons too. I noticed. I be like, boy, what? You like 21? Like,
I'm like, what's
oh, I
going
gotta wait for my
on?
mom to get here. What? I be like, what? But I find out with like the black and the Mexicans, it'd be like, oh, I don't know. My wife take care of that
I
for
take
me.
some pill. It's
I be
like,
like, I be telling Jordan, you gonna know, you need to know your history. We ain't got no history yet, but I'm just saying, like, I'm
right,
like, how you don't know what's
yeah.
going on with your own body? Like, that's crazy to me.
Does he say like things about like being married to like a nurse? Like they say like
I don't
nurses like
think
we're
so.
very
Cause I
hard
told him, I'm
patients.
like, don't tell nobody,
Yeah,
don't
I
volunteer
don't like
me.
that.
I'm like, don't volunteer for nothing. If we on a plane, let me volunteer
Right.
myself.
Now, if I see like, damn, I need to get up because like this is about to
Yeah.
go
Sometimes
left,
I'm like,
but I don't want to be that person. I
no, and I
don't.
don't like it anyway because I'm not in a hospital. So I'm like, I got limited resources here. Like,
Right.
what am I
I'm
really
not
supposed
like
to
a
do?
ER. Like,
Yes, I feel like if I was ER, I feel like a little
yeah,
different or
they
something.
immediately.
Yeah, but I'm like, but now that I've been around a lot of places, now I'm like, I feel
Yeah.
more comfortable. I still don't want to, but I'm like, I'll figure something out, I guess, because we have to make it work
Am
because
I
we're on
supposed to
so
watch
many
this
different
patient? I mean,
units.
this person. I'm calling him a patient. This person just died in front of me, and
No, no, we can't do
that's what I'm
that.
gonna say if I see it.
Yeah.
But when I go to the doctor, yeah, I'm not saying anything until I
Oh
see
yeah, I
if
know
I see
that.
something like if like it's totally not right, I'll say something. But if you notice when you say you're a nurse, everybody gets nervous. It's like, not nervous, but it's a different. You
They do approach you
immediately feel
differently.
the different. Yeah.
No, normally they volunteer the information for me. But when my people are in the hospital, I do like to go see them because I know how some nurses can be. And you're not about to play with my family like that.
Right.
So I don't
Right.
really say anything, but I'm going to go in there to check on them to make sure, like, okay, what's going on with her? Like, okay, what are y'all doing? Because I feel like, well, not all nurses are the same. Some of them are like very, like, they'll advocate for their patient and make sure they get the things, and then some of them are like so laid back. I feel like they don't properly represent what's going on with the patient. They just like in and out. I don't like that. You ain't about to play with my family, so I'll go up
Right,
there.
right.
So
And I don't like to be
they'll
that
tell me.
overly bearing family
Yeah,
member.
I don't do that though. I'm there, but I'm not gonna say anything. Most of the time, they be like, "Oh, she's a nurse," and then
Yeah,
that's
your
when.
family will say you're a nurse before you say.
Yeah, I'm like, I just need to see what's going on, make sure everything okay, and then I'm like, all right, you know. But they'll be like, "Oh, she's a nurse," and I'm like, okay. You still do
Like, what
your
kind of
job, like it's
right?
fine. Like I just need to make sure everything okay here, because I've seen so many things
Like, this is
on the
not how this
floor.
is supposed to be going, you know?
Yeah, I'm like, I've seen too many things on the floor. That's why I'm like that now, where I'm like, oh, I need to go see, make sure everything all right. Because some stuff
Them
I've seen,
simple
I'd be like,
mistakes that can cost somebody, you know what I'm saying? So it's like
yeah. So I try to go as much as possible, but yeah, I'm not over there like,
overbearing.
you need to do this and you need to do that. Why you didn't do that and blah 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 blah.
Because I
And
know
what
how
you,
it is.
yeah.
I know
On the
exactly
flip
how,
side, yeah, you don't want
yeah.
you as the nurse. You be
You
like,
that family member, you
girl,
be like, damn, can you please
like
go home?
yes, yeah. So I'm not like
Yeah.
that, but I just gotta check it out, make sure everything okay.
Yeah, I totally understand.
So that's so funny because that's actually one of the cards in there. Because I feel like a lot of the times as nurses, we be like, don't say nothing. Like, if I need to reveal myself, I will.
Right.
If you was a patient, do you feel like you would say, like, I'm a nurse?
So I had an incident, but it gave it away because I was in my scrubs. I got in an
Okay.
accident on the way to work. And so I had to go to the emergency room and it was a hospital within the system I work for.
Okay.
So, yeah, I had on the scrubs. And most of the time, royal blue is like nurses.
Yeah.
And that's what I had on. And so nobody said anything. They were like, so what do you do? And then when I said it, like everybody just started acting, different. But I had on the scrubs. So
Okay, let's talk about that actually, because that's like a good, like, how do you feel like people act differently? Like, good or bad?
um, it can be good and it can be bad because it's like, okay, now it's like overly doing stuff. You know what I'm saying? Or I noticed that once I said because I mean, easily royal blue can be nursing or it can be something else.
Right.
But I noticed like he started talking to me different, like using medical words, and
Okay.
it wasn't just a totally bad experience, but I did realize like, so a bad experience is I went to urgent care, and they had to draw blood, and some facilities they let the tech draw blood, and so I'm still chilling or whatever. But I realized like I have good veins, so like
Yeah.
he missed it, and then I kind of was like guiding him, and he was like, "What do you do?" And then when I said it, he got even more nervous, and I
Oh,
was like, "Oh
God.
shit!" Like like. Because I'm like, clearly I can tell that you haven't done this. So I'm just trying to like,
Yeah.
I'm the type of person you can't just keep practicing on me, but I'm a like help you. And so that was a bad experience. I
He
was
like,
like, he was so
not his
tense.
hands
Like,
shaking and
yes,
stuff.
I was like, bro, you got it. Like, literally, I'm
Relax.
young, my veins are like, you know what I'm saying? So that was a bad experience. But I would say, like, I realized that people, their jargon change medical, they start speaking in like medical
Yeah.
stuff like that. And I feel like sometimes they might overdo it because you can't BS me. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You cannot BS me. Like my family member, you could probably say something, and it's like, actually, no, that's not right with me.
Yeah.
Or like medicines, or we're just giving you this. No, why y'all giving me that? You know what I'm
But
saying?
that's what I don't like about it, because I feel like it shouldn't be like that at all. Like, for me, it's kind of like the same thing with VIP patients. Like, why are you treating people differently? It should all just be the same care. You should just be explaining everything to everybody what they're giving them, because they need to know what they're on and what is going on with them. So I kind of hate that, because I'd be like, why are y'all doing that? The medical terminology I can understand, because it's like, okay, I don't have to try to break it down into so many words because you know what this is. But honestly, too, I've had patient family members. They say they're a nurse, but they're like a different type of nurse, so they still don't know what I'm talking about.
Right.
Yeah. So I'd be
Right.
like, "So where do you work at?" And then they'd be like, "Oh, I was a nurse this many years ago, and I was over here." And so they still don't. You're like a regular
That's
person
too
at this
different.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, oh, you're a peds nurse or something, and you over here with the
If you
adults.
talk about
Yes.
specialties, it's
Yeah. I'm
you
like,
can
it's
like go to
different.
like P's and I will not know.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell you talking
Right.
about. Yeah, L&D, none of that.
Yeah, L&D,
Anything
hell
with
no.
women's services, I don't know what that is. Like, so it's the same thing when they come over here to us. Like, I feel like sometimes they be like, "Oh, so you're a nurse, you know this," and I'm like, "No."
Actually,
Yeah, or they'll be like,
The
they
general
they try
stuff,
to
yeah.
act like they know, and I'm like, "But you, when you explain it to me, that's actually not what it is."
but I took care of a neurologist, and he asked me what was a code blue.
See?
And you know, it's just kind of like I was just kind of like taken back by it, like. But then I'm like, he's probably works in the office,
Or
or
yeah,
he's
a
just
clinic
used
or
to like
something.
neuro, you know.
Yeah. So it's kind of funny because it's like you think doctor, you think nurse, oh, you should know, but then it's like they not. It depends really, and then even with that, so now that you're assuming they know, you're telling them, or you might not be telling them everything because you like, oh, they know what a cabbage is, and it's like,
Like,
oh,
actually.
they don't know, or maybe now they don't feel like they need to speak up and say, I don't know what that is, because now they don't want
Yeah,
you to
now
think.
we're looking
Yeah,
like-
so I'd be like, but at the same time, I feel like people in healthcare get checked on more because like you said they know like what it's supposed to be, but I'm just like, why can't we just do this for everybody? Like,
Right, it should be across the board. Yeah, yeah, you're absolutely right.
I feel like they'd be like, oh, y'all know this person, family member, they come up here at this time, so you need to make sure that they're clean. I'm like,
But that overbearing family member, that'd be a lot.
no, that's different.
That'd be a lot.
That's different. But I'm like, have you had like I said, when they're like, oh, this person family member is coming, you need to make sure they're clean before they get here. Type stuff. I'm like, it's
they
stuff
should be
like
clean
that.
without
I'm
the family
like,
member.
yeah, why does the family have to come up for the patient to be cleaned at a good time? Like, that's the stuff I don't like, and I've seen. So that's why I gotta come and check on my person.
That's when it goes back to that team. If you have a good team, you got them texts that will just like be on a phone or like
Yeah.
not even just text.
Nurses too. I was gonna say these nurses too.
Nurses too.
The techs be out here trying to clean the patient. You don't want to help clean your pawpaw.
I
I be like,
understand that.
girl,
I do
it
not-
takes 10 minutes. Get
depending on what's going
facts.
on. Depending.
10 minutes though, roughly for most people, I'd say. Get like it. Come on, like it don't. And then when it's two people, it's so fast. It's just like, let's just get it over
Right.
with. Or you already got to go in the room. Okay, just make sure they're clean while you're in there. Like, I don't understand. Just do your damn job.
Right. That'd be my thing. Just please, like, do your. And I'm gonna help you. I'm asking if obviously if I'm asking you, I can't do it by myself. I'm about to break my back. You know, I feel like my back is already bad from the how many years we've been a nurse.
Yeah, when I tell you, oh no. I'm sorry. The patient just gonna have to go and clean. If I can't get no help, oh no.
Oh yeah. If it's
I'm not about to go in there and try to flip you and do. Oh, I'm not.
I'm not gonna new grad me. I would try, but like
That's
me,
what I think I've tried to do that
me
before.
Now,
no,
especially as I got into that accident, like the way that the airbags and everything came out. Like it was at one point, like I had to wear a back brace. Like so, sometimes it'll like flare up, you know. So I was like, I'm not about to be that 60-year-old when I was a nurse. And,
yeah,
you know,
I still got a whole life to live. I'm young, like
Right.
no. So I'm sorry to the patients.
Right.
If I don't get no help, I will call. I'll be like, hey, I'll ask the tech. I'll ask another nurse. Sometimes I even ask the family member, if you help me, we can clean them right now. But I'm like, aside from that, like, I'm not about to.
I don't know what to look. I'm not to hurt my back for these people. Like that's how I am now. It sounds bad.
You have to take care of yourself. How many people do we
Right.
take care of? So one of me and like 100 and some of y'all. So if I go down, then them people ain't go.
right.
I'm like, we gonna have to make it work. So, you want to do another card and then we can
Sure.
scrub and sip.
Let's see. Let me mix it up. Let me see.
It'd be funny if we get the one we were just talking about because I know
Girl,
that one's in
I was
there.
thinking about that. Let's see. Oh, okay. It says, do you have any mentors? If so, how did that relationship begin? So I actually do. So my cousin, she's the reason why I went to Prairie View. She's a nurse practitioner. Um, yeah, so she was the reason I went to Prairie View Nursing, and I reach out to her for like it was crazy because our paths are kind of very similar. Like she started, I think she did tele. I mean, of course, I started IMU, but then we traveled. We went through the same company, and just kind of how and our personalities and everything are very similar. So like I go to her for like different stuff, and I would say she's like my mentor in nursing. And then my brother, he also went to Prairie View, but he went to Prairie View for engineering. He has a friend, and she's also a nurse practitioner now. And I talked to her about because nobody's gonna understand unless they're a nurse.
Yeah.
Like you could talk to your boyfriend, like you could talk to your husband. He's not a nurse.
No,
You
they
know what
don't
I'm
ever get
saying?
it.
So he's not going to under. He's
He be
like,
thinking he
it's
getting
like,
it, but
damn, that's messed
that was to say
up.
he
But
think
it's
he get it.
like,
He think he
it's
get it,
like
but he don't get it.
if you are not a nurse, you do not understand. Like it is, it's nursing is just completely, and everybody looks at like the money, and I'm like, that's not like
There's
it's
so much more
comfortable,
than money,
right?
and I think when you make money, you understand that. Because I feel like I used to think like that too. Like, oh, if I make this much, then like whatever happens. No, it's like some things are worth more than that.
Right. That's why
My mental health.
that's exactly why I was like, bro, I've been missing out on money, but this is not. I feel
Yeah,
depressed.
I'm like, I don't
Like
want to feel on edge like you were saying every day I go to work or something like that.
I'm
That's a
not
horrible
happy.
feeling.
That is a miserable feeling. It's so miserable. Like yeah, I'm a nurse, but like you have this other face, like, but I hate it. You know, like I won't say that I hate nursing. It's just it's
Pros and
right.
cons.
There's pros and cons. I think nursing can be rewarding,
Very much so. More so
but
than I feel like some other jobs could be. Because you
yeah.
can see people literally like heal. And you'd
And
be
knowing that
like,
you had part in that healing.
yeah, that's an amazing feeling. Or knowing like you made a difference in that family's interaction, like with being in the hospital or just, the doctor coming in there and saying whatever he's saying, they don't know what the hell he's talking about. And you tell them like he just mean this. And they be like, oh,
Right.
thank you. I'm
Yeah.
like, if you
I
wasn't
can't.
there
They
to
be
do
in there all of
that,
10 minutes, just
yeah, I'm
using
like,
big words, and the patients be
yeah.
like,
Yeah, I'm like, if you wasn't there to really explain that to them, they'll just be confused the whole time going along with
right.
whatever. I had a situation where this doctor wanted to put a Foley in the patient, and I was like, why? Like, basically, like, what's the indication? He didn't have one. He was just saying it so, like, the patient didn't have to get up and walk because he was older. I'm like, but he walks at home without assistive devices. He can walk to the restroom.
But they so strict on lines and stuff. I'm surprised.
Yeah, I was like, I thought that was so odd, but I'm like, if I hadn't been in the room, they probably would have just went, okay, if that's what you think, because he's a doctor. People just go along with anything doctors say because they're like, oh, it's a doctor, so it must be a reason. But I'm like, no, he doesn't need a Foley. And he's like, oh, okay.
No, some doctors you be like,
He'd be like, what?
I'm not about to follow this order. I'm sorry.
So I think of things like that, and I'm
Nurses catch all
like,
that stuff though. Nurses
yeah, I'm
catch the little
like,
like,
that makes a big difference. Or even like pain medication, like, hey, this is not working. Like when we push like, okay, this is not working for this person, like they're crying, they're in here like this, like they need something more. Well, it depends on kind of nurse you are. I'll say that too, because some nurses ain't gonna do that. But me, I be like, hey, they need something else, or can you give them something in the in between or something? Like, and they be like, okay. But I'm like, if I had not been there, they whole day might have just been like that. I don't know, because everybody's not the same. So those parts for me are rewarding.
being an advocate for your patient.
I like
Yeah.
doing that. God gave me a voice for a reason.
You've always been that way.
It's my calling.
Yeah. Isn't this like little stuff where you can like your patient could have died if you didn't say nothing? You know,
Yeah, I'm
like
like,
certain
that's
things
a
like
big,
that.
yeah.
I've never just been to where like I'm afraid of the doctor.
Me
I've
either.
never been.
I think it's just because I don't care. So I'm like, I
Right? I'm
can't be
like,
afraid of you because I don't care what you think about me. Like, you don't impact my
if
job.
your patient
Like,
dies and then you be mad about
that's
it,
on
you know what I'm
me.
saying?
Like,
Right.
I have a conscience. That's part of
But
my
even doctors,
problem.
if they have if they're having a lot of deaths, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, that
It
looks
will fall on
bad.
the nurse, but I'm saying, they look at that like the surgeons too, like in their cases, if they keep having deaths and
Yeah,
stuff
like
like
what's
that.
going on with them and things like
Right.
that. Yeah.
But yeah, I've never been. I don't know. I've never been like I've precepted nurses where they're like on the phone like and girl give me that damn phone like like sir we need da 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 just
I
that's
think
just
it's
how I've
just like
always
the
been.
position. Like people think it's a position of power, but I'm like, you just a person like everybody else. Like,
They don't know what's going on if we don't they're
no,
in
they
the room
really
all of five
don't.
minutes a day.
Yeah, they really don't. They have no clue. Like you, nurses know the patient better than the doctor do, hands down. Because I'm like, you don't. Sometimes they don't even know their history like really well, and I'm like, well, hey, you know that they got this or they take this. Oh, they do. Yes. Like
Yeah. I
I've seen
mean, they
that so
do
many
be having a
times,
lot of patience. I
which
will
is
give them that. Yeah.
understandable. Yeah, I'm like, you got all these people, so that's why we're there to be like, hey, no, like, what about this or why about this? Oh, okay, I didn't think about that. I'm like, all right, cool. No, I've never been afraid of the doctor. I don't get it either.
Yeah.
I'm like, they just a
I mean,
regular
I will
person.
say when I was a brand new nurse, I kind of didn't know what to say, but
That was my only thing.
I've never just been like, oh, the doctor's right there. I'm not gonna. I'd be like, excuse me, what doctor are you?
Me,
Because
I'm
and then
like, what
working
service do
nights,
you belong
like
to?
working nights, we don't really, unless the ones that always come at night, we know them. But
Right.
like, I'm like, I
It's the
don't.
same thing on days because I'd be like, what service? Because I mean,
Oh, they be
they got the
cross
doctors,
covering,
they got the
like,
physician assistant, that too. They got a nurse practitioner. I'm like, who you belong with?
yeah,
Like,
like,
yeah, and how they cover each other. Sometimes you be like, oh,
and
I'm
I
on this person's service today. You like, what? Okay.
right. I
Yeah.
appreciate a nice doctor though.
Oh,
I
yes.
appreciate and because you have the ones who are just rude for no apparent reason,
I
you
be
know.
like, look,
And that still doesn't intimidate me. Maybe it's just because I'm a very chill, like kind of laid back person, but that kind of stuff doesn't intimidate me.
how do you feel like you got like that? Because I feel like some people, when they think of chill and laid back people, they think like timid.
How did I get like that? Like how did
Yeah, like how did you develop that? Or do you feel like you were always like that?
I don't know. I've always been like this. Like even
Mm.
well, like I would say probably when I was like younger, I was just very quiet and shy.
Mm-hmm.
And then it kind of, I don't know, it just kind of, if I'm like loud and causing a scene, like it's not good. You know, it
I
took a
like to say I
lot
can't even
for me.
imagine you raising your
Right.
voice.
It's like, it's a boil up at that point. Like something that's like, but other than that, like, even when I would charge, like, and I'd be freaking out, nobody could, internally, I'd be like, oh my God. But like, my face was just like, okay, somebody get the crash card and, but inside, my friends that really, really know me, they know when I'm freaking out. But like, if you don't know me that well, it's just kind of like
That's actually me too. Like I'm good about that. Like inside I'm screaming, but on the outside I'm
right.
like,
It's they say that I have this like it's like a blank stare, like you know, like my friends that really know me,
they know what
but
that looks like. Yeah,
in nursing school, like one of my friends, she's like, Alex is freaking out, but I'll be looking like this, but it's just like
right.
a,
That's so funny. Because
but I
then when you
screaming and
see
stuff, that's
some
not me.
people freak out, it's like, calm down. Like I'm about to slap you.
I can't
Calm
operate
down.
with nurses like that. That gives me anxiety. Like
Get
we
out the
all
room.
know that one nurse that like it's not even a big deal. It's not a big deal. Oh, like, it can be a big deal, but
Sometimes,
they
but you
are
can't
flipping
operate. You
out.
can't operate like that. I'm
I
like,
cannot.
no. That's when I start yelling at people, and I'd be like, get out the room
Please, please.
now, because all you're doing is
Please, I
causing
can't operate
havoc.
like that. I cannot operate around people like that.
No,
I'm
I'm
like,
real
please,
like I'm like,
please.
okay, my mind started going fast. It's kind of weird. I feel like it's like I'm on a drug. I guess it's adrenaline.
Yeah.
My mind started moving like at hyper speed or something. I'm like, okay, what we gotta do, what we gotta do, what we gotta do. Get the crash car, get this, get
Yeah,
this, get
that's
this.
how I am.
It's like it started going. You be like,
Right.
damn, I know a lot of stuff, don't I?
Yeah, you don't realize that too. It's like put to the test. You like, dang. Where I used to work was the ghetto, but
It was the ghetto.
because where my first travel assignment was like the hospital system, like they had somebody for everything. I don't come from a place with resources, so
Right.
I'm used to like doing this, and
I always
this.
tell people that I'm like, I came from the hood. I had to fight for my life every
Even
day.
I heard that it's got worse because I work with some people that used to work there recently,
I heard that too.
and
I'm like, worse? What's that?
like,
How? I was
it
six
went from
patients with
worse
no.
to worse, sir.
I'm like,
But
keep getting worse, so they go close it down.
that's
Like,
how I was like, they probably close that place down
but
because
I heard that they closed a couple of the units on there.
that's what I heard because of no staff. But
IMU. They closed the IMU unit, not the one I was on, but the other one.
some people
Because
I
they
work with
called
there, they
Safe
say
Harbor. They said they called Safe Harbor. Yeah, and they
well, we
came.
should have called. We should have called.
They came, but I think they called Safe Harbor so many times, and they came and they ended up. They did like an investigation. And they closed that unit down. I don't know where the nurses went that worked there because I didn't know them. All the ones that I knew that worked there were already gone by the
Yeah, a
time
lot
this
of people
happened.
that
It
I
was a
used
lot of
to
new
work with.
grads. Yeah,
And that's not
that's
safe in
scary.
itself.
And IMU too. and then they closed on some other unit down because I had somebody who was on the podcast not too long ago. She was telling me about it. I was like, dang.
I mean, it's not surprising, but yeah.
I'm like, where do the nurses go to? Do they reassign them when stuff like that
I would
happens?
be gone from the facility once.
If I'm calling Safe Harbor. But what's crazy is that every unit is not like that, which is odd. Like how you could be in a hospital and one unit is completely
That's how I felt
like,
about where I worked. Like
yeah.
I felt like that floor CCU. Like I just felt like once I stepped out of that, I was like, I don't want. I got floated to a unit before, and I wanted to cry.
And
I
everybody
wanted to
hated our
cry.
unit. Everybody, no one wanted to come to my unit, but it wasn't that bad to me. But I think I
It's
just
because
must have got used
you
to
were used to
it.
it. They're
Yeah.
like sick nursing home, but they're like sick. Like like
I
not
think I was
telly
just,
sick. They're
yeah,
like
they were sick. Yeah. yeah, people used to be, they did not do well when they come to our unit. So then they'd be like,
fighting for my
okay,
life all 12 hours.
send somebody from our sister unit over there. They wouldn't want to come either.
You talking about like because y'all had IMU and y'all had like
Yeah, we had
neuros.
the
Oh,
stroke
okay.
unit. Yeah, so we would trade off a lot, like to balance each other's staff out. So we were very familiar with each other. But our nurses there, they were good, but I guess you had to be good to be
Right.
there.
That's what I'm saying.
So
But I was saying all that to say that when I traveled and I experienced other healthcare systems, like their culture, you realize, like, you know what I'm saying?
everywhere is not the
Right.
same.
And it makes
Yes,
a difference when the healthcare system is like how they treat their staff.
that's true too.
Like for the first time, I mean, maybe working days, you might have seen the chaplain. The chaplain would
Oh
come around.
yeah,
The chaplain would come around, give essential oils, ask you if you needed prayer.
yes, girl.
Had like different. They would like have candy, like oh you. And then like when a patient dies, like the chaplain did everything.
Yes,
I'm so used to like a patient dying. Okay, now I
I
gotta
didn't
print
even.
this.
I'm like, I didn't even know we had a chaplain where we came
Right, I probably
from.
see the
We
chaplain in
had to
3 years.
have one
Like
because I'm like they
what?
had to have a chaplain, but I'm like maybe it was just there's so many at this facility I was at. Like you said, one of them they come out. Oh, do you need prayer? You pray for me all day
Right.
long.
Right. Look, I'm not turning down
I'm
a
not turning
prayer.
down no prayer. Okay, you can pray for me. Yes, and the staff bless the unit,
The
please.
family, like it makes a
It does make
difference.
everything makes a
It makes a
difference. Yeah.
difference.
So yeah, and
Nursing
it
is
is
still
crazy
nursing.
that
Nursing is
the
still nursing.
chaplains does that they were more way more hands on
Yeah.
with the death process and stuff like that. But I feel like they're better suited for that.
Right. Like, well versed in not everybody's
How to
Baptist. Not
say it,
even everybody
the
is
verbiage and everything.
right.
Because that's not
Right.
like something we learn, like how to speak to people
We
like that.
not really, it's kind of sprinkled in the curriculum. It's not like we don't
Yeah.
stay on it. It just kind of
Yeah, but
like
I'm like that. Someone is gonna die when you take care of them. Like somebody, like whether it's hospice or it's a
right.
cold blue and something happened. Like I'm like I was not prepared for how to talk to people, and I'm like I do the best I can. It seemed like it'd be all right, but I'd be like I'm
I'm
not
trying to imagine
comfortable.
you like
Yeah, I'm like I'm not comfortable with doing that.
right.
And then one time at our hospital, I had to call the family and tell them.
I hate that.
Yeah, and I'm
I hate
honestly,
that.
we're not even supposed to do that.
Yeah,
It's
no, we're not supposed
yeah, we're
to.
not. It's not supposed to be us that do that. But I don't. Yeah. Then the charge nurse didn't want to do that. Talking about she's scared. Girl, somebody needs to notify the family. Okay, ended up being me.
Aren't you supposed to say like it's been a change in status?
I said I didn't. Like I said, I did not learn how to do this. So I just told them like, unfortunately, I can't even remember what I said. I just told them the facts, like this is what happened, and he passed
Resulted
or
in
transitioned or something like that. I tried to
yeah.
say. Then, girl, the reaction, oh, that's
Oh
horrible.
man.
Like hearing somebody
It's
pain,
it's a cry, but it's like a distinct like
like
pain. You'll
that's a sound
never
I'll never forget.
right.
Like she was like wailing, and the crazy thing about that one in particular was that she had called earlier in the shift to check on the patient, and I was like, "Oh yeah, this is going on. He's fine." Blah blah blah.
Right.
And then here I'm calling like 4 or 5 hours later, and I'm
And they're
like,
just like confused.
"Yeah, like what happened? And he was fine like this amount of time ago."
You're confused. I'm
I don't know what happened.
confused.
Yeah, I'm like, it was his time. I don't know. Then yeah, because then it's crazy
That's
too.
true statement though.
They need to do better with the education part of that because people will ask you, "Am I going to die?" Or like family members will ask about their loved one, like, "Are they going to die?" and things like that. And it's like, what do you say to that? I just
But you know, us as humans, I don't really think we have like death etiquette.
no. I'm
Like,
like,
you
what am
know?
I supposed to
Yes,
say?
like
I'm like, only God knows. But then if you don't believe
right.
in God, then I mean, how is that offensive? Like, you know what I mean?
Right? Like it's just yeah.
I just
I look at death differently now that I've
I
been a
let
nurse.
I'm like, spirit,
Holy
help
Spirit
me
activate.
guide my words because I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true though. Now that you have brought that up, I'm like, they should do better about that because I'd be lost. Even
I would
I,
say the doctors, like, you know, when we're coding someone and the doctors, I feel like they kind of have a better, the one, you know, that I've experienced of like, okay, call the family. I feel like
I've
they,
seen both. I've seen some that were
it would mainly be
good.
ICU doctors, so they deal with that all the
They're used
time.
to it, yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen some that were like really good about it, and then some of them that were like that was like it
Yeah, you
didn't
like,
sound good.
huh? Like, I
Like,
don't think
damn,
you
why
should
you
have said
say it
that
like
like
that? Yeah, I'm like,
that.
if somebody would call me like that, I'd have been like that. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
really never thought of that part until just now. But it's true. I'd be like,
Do you remember your first cold? I will never forget my first cold.
no, because for the longest time I didn't have one. I
Oh.
had patients that were like hospice that died or
Okay,
like
you expect it.
yeah, like
Yeah.
stuff like that. But I hadn't had like, or they just died. It wasn't like a cold. Like one time I went into the room, like my
It's
first,
not funny. It's
I
actually
know.
not funny, but I know what you mean.
Yo, you like, wait, what?
Like,
So I had one that like right before shift change, I went into the room and they just weren't there anymore. And it's just like, what happened? Like, it was literally like that. Like,
everything happens at shift change.
yeah, it was like they were fine last time I went in here, and now it's gone. So there was no code, like, because nobody, like, you know, you round at the time you round, and it was just like that. But for the longest, I didn't have a code blue. I don't know if I had one until maybe COVID,
And then it was just normal
because
to have cold blues.
it was never my patient. It was always maybe somebody else's patient, and
Makes a
then
whole difference.
very different ball game.
Right?
I had rapids. I was well versed in rapids. But colds, It might have been during COVID, the one that I was telling you about. That might have been my first one. I never thought of like which the first one was. It might have been that one. That's not a good first one though.
Right, you gotta put all that PPE on.
Because with
It's
that
like,
one in
everybody's
particular,
sweating.
that one I was on lunch break, and they
That,
called the code on my patient.
that's my fear that I go on break and one of my patients.
I had run on all my patients. Okay, they're fine. All right, I'm about to go eat. They saw his oxygen going down, and they went in there to check on him. And they had to code him. I was like, I just went downstairs to get some chips. They're like, oh, you know, cold blue patient, da 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 da. And I'm like, oh
you
shit,
hear it, you
that's
like, oh shit, that's my patient.
This is not
That
funny,
was
but
always my
it's like
fear.
a panic. Yeah, then I'm like,
It's like
that's when our
it's like a fight
doors
or
were
fight,
closed. I'm over
like-
here like pressing the door, like open the goddamn door, like what
Because I'll be leaving the
happened?
unit on my break. I don't want nothing to do with nothing else.
Yeah, I was downstairs and I came back up. I was about to go in the break room, and that's when I heard it. I was like, what the fuck?
It's like
Crazy.
yeah.
Maybe we do something about that, like that whole death part. Like I don't know. Yeah, because now that you brought that up, I'm like, we
don't.
be
We don't.
lost.
We
People don't even want to do the aftercare. I'm like, I had a nurse before. I'm trying to ask them, can you help me? You know, get them in the bag and stuff because I think
like to do it.
I think the
but-
test is unavailable or something. She was like, no. Why would you mean no?
I mean, during that part, they're usually still warm and not like, but it's still a different.
I was no. I don't want to. Shit, I don't either. Like, I don't understand. Hold on. Now it's acting crazy. Oh, that's better. I still got the audio on here,
Oh, okay.
so I'll just cut it. Okay, so we're about to close. So before we close every episode, we scrub and sip. So we scrub a negative experience that we've dealt with in nursing, and then we sip to a positive one. Let me see if I got enough in there.
I just have like a little drop.
Swig.
So first is negative experience.
Yeah.
I will say my negative experience is when I was a brand new nurse, and it's this feeling you get where it's like this is not going to end well. And it was she was an infamous doctor known for like not calling back on night shift or not even responding. Period. And I called her like first, you try to go through the answering service. And then still couldn't reach her. So I started calling the cell indirectly, and she got an attitude with me.
I mean,
And she got a, like, it's like, and cool. You have, I don't care. The patient's about to die, but still, I had to call
Right.
her back because things kept happening. And so ultimately, like just trusting my nursing judgment, I called a rapid, but the patient ended up dying because she was being like, what is the word I'm trying to use? She was brushing off what I was saying.
Okay.
So that's, anyways, I was gonna have to go to, where do you go when you go to like court? It's called like, I don't know, but you're it's like a panel of nurses or whatever.
You did that?
I was gonna have to, but my documentation saved me.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
I was a brand new nurse.
I never knew this
Because I don't
story.
really tell people because it's kind of like pushed to the back of my memory. But I called like all the nurses in my family. They're like, "No, you did everything you were supposed to do." But I'm a brand new nurse. I'm like, I'm gonna lose my license.
Yeah, I'd
And
be freaking
I
out
mean, the
too.
patient. What really the patient? Now that I'm older, like, and I've been a nurse for a while, the patient was like 80 something. He was a DNR, but still, I could have. He didn't have to go the way that he did.
I
When it
understand.
came to like surgical intervention, he refused it. But it was the fact that I kept calling and she kept like brushing me off. But my documentation is what ended up saving me.
So what
And
did you
his daughter was a
document?
lawyer. I just documented like all the times I called. I
Okay.
had it like time specific. I had it like what exactly I said, what she said. And because she was infamous for like neglecting certain things. But yeah, and then like when the patient dies within 24 hours of care, it goes to, what is it called? I forgot what it's called.
Oh, not the Medicare Medicaid thing. It's
No,
something else. Not CMS. It's
it's
something. I know what you're talking about though.
but yeah, I was just like, I ended up calling in the next day. But yeah,
Yeah, because that's
my
stressful.
documentation saved me. And
Wow.
that'll be a time because I was gonna have to go to court and everything, and so that was a negative experience. But I would say I'm glad that I kept going and I didn't give up with nursing. Now, but the thing is, me now, and I would have handled that situation so differently. Like I would
Yeah.
have, But when you're a baby nurse, you're
You have
just kind
no
of like,
idea.
literally, it was like my first or second week being by myself.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, like it
Were
scarred
you talking
me.
about a new nurse?
Yes, that's what
Brand
I'm
new.
saying. So I still was trying to get the hang of like how I do things and but I'm glad that even it's that nursing feeling. It's like
Your gut.
you always listen to that cuz it's
Yeah.
always right. So that would be a negative experience.
That's crazy.
I know. That now that I haven't talked about it in so long, but yeah, I remember the guy that I was like dating at the time was like, "Oh my God." And then like his mom was a nurse and it was just every nurse I told them about the story and they're like, "You're fine. Like you handled that but like, I
Right.
was like, "No.
But it's
No."
still because you just feel like, wasn't there something else I was supposed to do? And it's just like,
Right.
no, sometimes that's literally all you could have done.
Right.
Wow.
Um I would say a positive uh I don't know. I've had a rewarding where it's just like I remember I took care of a patient, and for some reason, like he really reminded me of like my grandfather, and like how he passed away is kind of how my grandfather
Oh,
passed
really?
away, and just like I don't know, I built a connection with that family, and then like like when they're on your floor for a while, and you just they kind of were like, and she would come in the morning, and she would listen to like her prayer line and stuff like. And my grandmother does stuff like that,
Oh,
and so he ended up passing away, and she just like came up to me and she was like, thank you for because I admitted him. And she was like, you were you anytime I said something, you were on top of it, and we kind of you've treated us like family, and
yeah.
it was just so that's a positive. It's rewarding to hear. Not even I don't. Some people will get you gifts and stuff like that, but like for people to say, oh,
Tell
you
you.
thank you, and
Yeah.
I really appreciate the way you handled my family member, or you made a difference in my. Because nobody wants to be in a hospital. You know what
Well,
I'm saying?
exactly.
So that was something positive.
I like that story.
Yeah.
Because see, that's what I was talking about with the rewarding experiences. Because I'm like, it could have went a completely different way. Like, say you were a nurse who were like barely available for them, and like they didn't really have anybody there for them and stuff like that. Like, it would have been a completely different experience. But I feel like he was able to go like peacefully, and you aided in that process. See, I like stuff like
Yeah,
that.
like that's not positive. When
I'd be
people
like, this is
say,
what I do it for. Like,
right, yeah, those are the little things. But other than that, I'm like, I'm ready. I gotta get out of this.
but they make up for it though. I feel like when I have something like that, I'd be like when I say this is what I do it for, I'd be like, see, I'd be like, this makes up for like the past like month or 2 months. Like it stretches far from me when I get stuff like that, and I'd be like, I did something today. Like,
Right, right. It just really makes you like smile, like, because like being a nurse is like it's not easy, and it's like
no,
I feel like it takes a special kind of person.
it
Seriously,
does. It's just like teachers.
you know who's there for the
Like the good
money.
ones, yeah. But that's why I think I appreciate. Well, I don't say myself, but kind of. I know what I'm gonna do for people, and I see how some other people are, and I know I'm not like that. So I like, when I come into work, I am making a difference because, like I said, not everybody's gonna experience like this side of care from everybody else. So I'm like, I'm really am doing something. So I like that. Not like when I'm going to work. Oh, let me type on some computer, and I don't. Okay. Like I'm touching people's lives. Like I like that. It's
Right.
meaningful.
Yeah.
So all the other little BS stuff that I hate too. I
It's
feel
like
like
the
it's
nursing
fine.
has got towards like documentation and
You just
money,
worry
and you
like, oh, is this gonna come bite me back later? Like,
you're coding your patient, and they're like, "Did you update your whiteboard?" Like,
yeah, it's just like that little stuff. It'd be like, what the hell? This is
right,
not what we're here for. I feel
right.
like. But stuff like that, I'd be like, all right, yeah, this is
This is
why I chose
rewarding. This
it.
is
I'm like,
exactly,
yeah, this is
yeah.
why I chose it. And the flexibility, incomparable
That's
for
what I'm
me.
like. We're talking about going to a clinic, and I'm like, "Ugh, I kind of like my little 3 days."
Yes, I like when I could pick when I want to work and when I don't want to
Right.
work. Okay, I didn't feel good this day. Like, I'm not coming to work today. And you can't tell me nothing. I like that.
Right. I was thinking about doing remote nursing, and it was a girl that I went to nursing school with. She like gave me like she was like, "Okay, apply here, put my name as a reference." And I was about to do it, and I was like, "I don't want to do this," because it was like 10 to like 10 p.m., but it was like Monday through Friday, and I was just
See,
like,
it's that Monday through Friday that gets us every
oh.
time. We're like,
I'm like, I don't know about that. Like,
Monday through Friday, 10 to 10?
like
How many hours is that? 60?
I don't.
Because
No, no,
that's
no. It
12
wasn't 10
hours?
to 10, but it was like
Oh,
10
okay.
to I don't know, but it was overnight, and I was like, "What if I want to do something on Friday? What if I appreciate her for like
Yep,
presenting
thinking
that because
about
I was
you.
thinking about
Yeah.
remote nursing,
Yeah.
but I was just like, when something ties me down into like a set,
Yeah.
that just really gives me anxiety, and I'm like, I don't want
Because
to
it's
do
like you
that.
have to. Like
Right.
I have to do that. Like we know like okay we're gonna go to work these weeks, but if I really don't want to, I can call in or
Right.
something like that. I can cancel the shift or
Right.
yeah, it's just different. So that kind of goes back to what you were saying. Like nursing is not just about the money. Some of the other stuff that job offers, like the freedom to move around how you want to move around. I'm like you can't buy that from me. Like just being able to be like, oh, I'm not coming to work today or whatever. It's raining too hard. I don't gotta tell you.
I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
not risking my safety for these
Yes.
people.
I'm like, I don't have to tell you why I'm not coming. I'm just not coming.
Right.
Like most of these are some of these other jobs that people have. I'm like, they don't have that choice. If they do
There's
that,
a lot
they're
of
fired.
flexibility.
Yeah.
And
So,
nursing, but I will say that about nursing. You don't have to stay in this one.
and that's what I like about it too. I'm like, okay, like you said, okay, I want something more challenging. I want to go do something else. Okay. You got all these options
Right.
that you don't
Right.
have to go back to school for.
Right. Right. That's almost like, because I know when I go back to school, it's just going to be like, damn, I got to study. I got to do
I'm
this
not looking
paper.
forward to that.
I
I will
know.
try everything else
But
before
I'm
I
like,
think about it.
I want to like do it before I'm just like set my ways. Like, I'm
Yeah, I
not going back to
agree.
school. Like, I turn, if I'm like 30 something, I'm like, I'm not doing it. I'm not
I
doing
think
it.
I'm not doing it. Like I got because for me it's like what am I doing it for? I got to be doing it for something.
It won't be the pay for me because I've talked to too many nurse practitioners and they're like it's oversaturated in Houston.
That's what I heard. I heard
But
that
they're
a long
like
time
if you want
ago.
more like work life balance, like they're like you have to think about why you want to do it. And
That's
if
what I'm
money is the
saying.
reason, that's not going to
Yeah,
be.
that's why I'm like, what am I doing it for? Right now I have no reason to do it. Like system float is like fulfilling me right now. Like I'm like, there's nothing more I want in this space right now. Like I'm good. That's crazy to say. I'm good right now.
So are you required to do like a certain amount?
You get to first you got to pick like
Oh,
your
it's different
options.
tiers.
Yeah, because it's like 3 different PRN options, and then you got the full time. So I think I'm like PRN2 or something like
Oh, okay. I was
that.
like, are you full time?
No, but
Okay.
I work full time hours,
Oh, okay.
but I don't have
You don't want
to.
the like
Yeah, like I don't have to. That's the
yeah, okay.
thing.
Okay.
Well, thank you, Alex, for joining us for today's episode. It was good catching up
I
with
know
you
this was cool. I was like, I'm gonna
again.
be nervous, but I really wasn't.
No, see, I told you. I feel like
yeah.
first 10 minutes, people are
Yeah, you're
fine.
like,
So we would like to thank you for coming. It was a pleasure having you. Maybe we get you back
thank
again.
you for having me.
Yes. So you guys, the video went out, but y'all still go listen. So
Oh, you put it on like
YouTube, yeah. So available on YouTube. Also, podcasts, just like the podcast version is available on Spotify, Google, and Apple. Yeah,
okay.
podcast.
Okay, this is cool. I hope you keep doing it and keep doing
All right. So we'll talk to you guys later. Bye.